Part of it.
Well, hello there.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Heidi. And there's Peggy. How's everybody doing?
Doing great. Welcome. Thanks for coming back, everyone.
We got fun shirts. I don't know if you can see them.
You have to stand up like this.
Everybody but the dog person.
Exactly.
But you're in the Valentine's.
Yes, I'm in the Valentine's mood. Yes.
Well, this is most likely to bring home a dog. And it kind of fits with what we're going to be talking about for our main subject. We have a special guest, which works. This is the third time we've had a special guest.
I know. I like when we have a guest on.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
especially when they're nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, we haven't started yet.
I like well, the first guest was we had Mickey Grossman, who was a psychic.
Mm-hmm.
Then my friend that I helped raise, Kathy, who owns her own flooring business.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Heidi.
Yay.
For Yorkie 911, but we're going to talk about that a little bit. So I'm going to let Judy run with it because do we want to banter a little bit or we got a lot to do?
We have a lot because we're going to be doing a
but
food
just
tasting.
real quick, we're starting, just so you know, January 22nd is the Chinese New Year. Year of the Rabbit, everybody.
Year of the
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Do you
New
all
Year.
know what your signs were that you were
I do.
born?
I was born in the year of the dragon.
Oh, I was the year of the ox.
I have no clue.
I think I'm the rat.
Oh, okay. Wasn't that last year, the year of the dragon?
Well,
Is
yeah,
that
they
last
go, it
Yeah.
depends, but the
Yeah.
year of the rabbits, everybody, for 2023 is supposed to symbol longevity, peace, prosperity, and a prediction of hope.
Oh, good.
We
So
could all
that
use
sounds
that.
good.
Yeah,
Excellent.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's make it happen. Definitely.
All right, well, let's toast. Okay, so I'm doing the booze and wine. I know no wine, and this is a surprise. That's why I'm keeping it down here. This is called Desoy or Desoy. I don't know how SOI, but it is. It was founded by Katy Perry and Morgan McLaughlin. They're the co-founders. Now, have you heard this? It's called Golden Hour, not to be confused with Golden Shower.
That's exactly what I started thinking about.
Now, in all fairness, they do come in a bottle, but I couldn't get the bottle in on time. I ordered this from Amazon. It's kind of on the pricey side, so why don't you pass your glasses? I know, I'm sorry.
What is Amazon no good?
Well,
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
don't
oh,
sell
Yes,
it.
so that's true.
Okay. But I was, the reason why I did this was because there's been a lot of talk lately about no alcohol January.
yes.
Dry
This,
January.
a dry January. This is non-alcoholic.
Oh,
I know.
I'm leaving.
I know. But
sorry, Heidi, of all the podcasts that you would
You know what?
to.
I have to drive. It's okay.
I was gonna let you taste it first and see if you liked it, but I figured, oh, whatever.
This is going to be interesting.
Okay, but listen.
We gotta
So
smell it first.
Yeah.
smell it. Let's see what it says. It's not meant to be wine. This is what it is.
Oh, it smells. What does that smell?
Non-alcoholic aperitifs with natural adaptogens. It's gluten-free. Okay, it's non-GMO, no artificial colors or flavors, pure extract. So in here
It
is
smells like pineapple.
citrus, lemongrass, and leafy herbs. Okay, it's 30 calories per glass, and it's got maca root, which is from the Peruvian Andes Mountains, lemon balm, and L-theanine, which is, I looked that up, which is an amino acid. It was supposed to be good for cognitive,
Oh, okay.
and, yeah, increase your
Good.
cognitive.
Give me more.
Well, that's too much. So, shall we try? As we toast, I want to toast to my sister-in-law Anne. It's her birthday.
Happy birthday.
My
birthday,
nephew
Anne.
Owen and my niece Anne. I have two Annes and an Owen. Cheers.
Yay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers, 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 cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I should say my nephew Joe. Joe Mastro's birthday
Cheers to
is.
Joe.
Listen,
you
my,
have anybody?
my birthday is on Monday.
Oh!
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
You might need the real wine.
Yes, we can pour you a glass
We
of
do.
real.
It's not bad. It needs ice.
Because it said refrigerate after opening, so I didn't put it in there now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I think if it was cold, it would be better.
Yeah, I think I would like it with
Yeah.
the
It
cold.
tastes like a good soda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the initial smell, though.
It
Yeah.
tastes gingery though, doesn't it?
Right.
But I don't know if that's ginger.
I don't know.
I don't think. I don't know.
I do like it.
I like this.
What do you do with this?
But it does taste a little bit soapy. It tastes a little bit soapy.
It's got a little aftertaste.
Maybe it's her
Maybe
glasses.
it's from when I washed the glasses. These haven't been used while, so I washed them.
Those are cute
Thank
glasses though.
you. They're
Yeah, they're
antique.
very
But
nice.
something you may not have, may have noticed is
I
that
like it.
it's unusual is that we have food on the bar this time because we never do. But we are going to taste this. It's from Simple Fine Food. I don't have my glasses on, but it's in Rockville Center. It's a woman-owned business. Lisa Lowe owns this, and she actually we were in her shop the other day, and I was like, maybe I'll get some jams, and then one thing led to the next, and she gave us some pies for us to try. So we're gonna try it right now. So who's good at cutting up pie?
You are.
No, I'm not.
I'm not cutting those.
Peggy,
Yeah.
Peggy's
I'll
good.
do it, I'm brave.
Okay.
So these are two different kinds?
Yes, one's
All right.
chicken and one is steak and ale. And
Oh, that's the pub pie.
it's the
that she
British
has.
pub pie.
There's your alcohol.
And again, it's from Simple Fine Food, and they're in Rockville Center.
It's a lovely shop.
Oh, it really is. 80 North Park Avenue, and we can try the jams. I don't know,
She
let's
does
see.
all kinds of olive oils and balsamic vinegars and cheeses and.
Here, we're gonna put that like that for now.
Okay, here, now you could serve this. This is the steak one and hand
You
me
want one
that
of these?
one. Here, we'll
Okay.
switch.
Okay.
We'll try. Give me this one.
Do you want the whole plate?
I need 2 hands to
Yeah,
do this.
yeah.
All right, as we're serving this, what
Thank
do
you,
you
Heidi.
all think about a dry January? Have you ever tried it?
No.
No. I thought about it very fleetingly.
I'm halfway there.
Well, good for you. Jessica's doing it too.
Yeah.
Wow, wait, whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, did anyone read today's New York Times about alcohol?
No.
Now they're saying even a little bit is not good for you.
Yeah, I know, but an article that I read yesterday was saying on Wine Folly about the health benefits of wine, and it depends
Well,
on what
that's
kind of
why
wine.
Of course
Well,
they
it
say
depends
that.
on the kind of wine that you're drinking
Yeah.
and how much, of course, you drink.
God,
So, you know
that's
what? Everything I read is a different story.
Right. So we've got the jams, our blueberry bourbon jam, and what's that one?
Okay, this is
Blackberry,
chicken, which
raspberry,
I.
cardamom.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
This is the chicken piece.
Oh, cardamom, that'd be interesting.
Right. Does anyone want the steak and ale?
Oh my
Yeah,
God, I'm
I'll take
Does
really
anyone out
interested.
there in the camera world want some? Cause sorry, it's not happening.
I'm sorry.
That's
that
up
it's
to them.
not
I'm
working.
sorry, Heidi.
That's
happy?
okay, there's plenty.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
So,
hand me
thank you,
Okay.
Lisa.
I don't have to have lunch.
this is the chicken
Really?
one.
Wait, Lisa.
Oops,
Oh,
here's the bottom of
Really?
your pie. Sorry.
This is why. This is why we don't usually have.
This is why we don't work in a
Part
restaurant.
of our segment. here.
Judy, can I
Judy.
have your plate?
Oh,
But
okay.
here's the rest of yours, Judy.
Oh,
Mm,
Okay.
That's good.
this is very good.
Ooh. Now
Ooh,
that's
yum.
that's the bourbon.
oh, wait, what are we doing?
Blackberry,
with this? What's
raspberry.
It's the rest of your steak.
Oh, look at this. Thank you.
You're too cute. Oh, look at this.
Okay.
Okay, how about me? What am I,
Oh.
chopped liver?
No, your steak and ale.
Steak and ale?
Your steak and ale. Oh, there you go.
Oh, well, the
Thank
meat
you.
seems to be in the pan.
I know it does.
No, this is fine.
No, here.
Give me a little
I would buy this.
Yeah, you gotta get
This is good.
Jam is very good.
We'll go to Rockville Center. You can order online and pick up in the store.
Did you get a piece of bread? Or
I did not.
and where's the bread from, Peggy?
The bread is from Dortoni's Bakery in East Norwich. They also have a bakery in Levittown. That was their original one.
Okay,
And it's a lovely bakery.
very cool. So yeah, so this is why we don't normally do
No,
this.
nobody's gonna be talking.
No,
I know, really. Now we're stuffing
Um,
our faces.
So
That's very good. The
Mm.
steak one I've tried.
alright, so this
Mm.
is
Chicken.
Delicious.
Very good.
Good chunks.
blueberry
Really good.
bourbon.
Now,
gin.
does she make them by hand? Like she makes
No,
them?
she actually buys these from this woman who makes them all by hand.
Mm. Oh yeah, that chicken is.
Mm.
Very good. Did anybody taste the jam yet?
Yes. We had this one.
Did you want to try the
Blackberry.
bourbon, or did you want to try the blueberry bourbon, or the?
I'll try the blueberry. I love blueberries.
This is really good. I'm glad I didn't eat before I came.
Really?
I didn't know this was a show about food.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you had any gluten. Oh, that's good jam. If you have any gluten allergy, but I didn't ask you.
Mm.
I eat anything and
The
everything.
steak one is very good too.
Is it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The crust is very flaky. We weren't paid to do this.
No, we weren't. And we're hungry, so pardon us while we ignore you.
I'm glad I picked this day to come.
No, we're very, very excited. While we're eating, we can ask, like, what did you guys do for the New Year? New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Did you guys? Well, I know what you did.
Yeah.
New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't know. Why don't you tell them?
We had game day here.
Oh, I couldn't remember when my sisters came. I said, I think that they came. I was telling somebody on New Year's Day. I said, I know I did something on New Year's Day.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it started like around 12:30. Well, you didn't stay till the very end, but that's understandable. It was a long day. And then everybody left by midnight. So, yeah,
Wow, that
we
was a long
played
day.
like Cards Against Humanity. I don't know if you ever played
Oh,
that.
yes.
Love that game.
Which version?
Oh, well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. And then a code name, which was fun, which I didn't
I
realize.
love that game.
Yeah,
I really liked that game.
yeah. That
Never
was
heard
fun.
of that one.
Yeah, my daughter kept a year ago. She wanted us to play it, and it just wasn't going because there was only a couple of us. You have to have more people.
Mm-hmm.
Then we played charades.
Oh, nice.
Then we played. I'm trying to remember everything we did. Oh, freedom of speech, which is a lot like Cards Against Humanity. I feel like there was another one that we played, but we had chili and
Did you play
chowder.
Wordle? You sent me a picture of a Wordle game. Did you play that?
No,
I sent the Wordle game.
Oh, that was
Samantha and Aaron bought that for me, one of my Christmas gifts.
Oh, okay.
I was going to bring it today because I said, who am I going to play it with? You. Nobody else is going to play it with me.
I play Wordle. I like Wordle.
Yeah. But I mean in my house.
Oh.
Right.
You know, and it's 14 plus,
Yeah.
and Tate is 10, and
Hey, I really don't like this.
I know.
Sorry, Katy Perry. I like it.
No, you know what? When I brought it
I
to
don't
my
like the
nose,
smell
It's
of
the
it.
smell.
yeah.
And it's the smell. It does
But
smell like a clean
You know what?
food.
In all fairness, I was looking for reviews for non-alcoholic wine, and they're all bad. Like I really couldn't find any good review. I was like, it tastes like grape juice. So I said, let me try this and see. I just thought, hey, it can fit with
No, it's
January,
worth
dry
it.
January, with something different.
You just can't
Yeah.
breathe when you first take the sip. You have to
I know.
kind of not breathe, sip it, it's not so bad.
But you
So
know,
don't
I just found out you also, your sense of smell is in your mouth too. And they say that's why even if you hold your nose when you don't want to taste something, you still do.
Oh.
Because it is in your mouth.
Well, that's not good.
Well, I'm grateful for
This
the
is
food.
good jam too. I know.
All right, I'll drink the rest of them. I'll bring them home.
Enjoy, absolutely.
Maybe you clean your bathroom with it or something. Sorry, Katy Perry.
Oh, that's right. You did say.
Oh my God.
No. Well,
So delicious.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do like the jams.
Good job, Lisa.
Yeah.
So the name of the store is Simply Fine Foods, 80 North Park Avenue.
Simple, fine food.
Simple
Fine food.
Fine Foods.
Yep. Traditional British pub food, and not posh. I don't have nosh. Not posh nosh. And they are at 80 North Park Avenue, Rockville Center, and they were right down the block from us when we had a bookstore. That we ended up having to close, but that's another story. But you know what? We have time now. Is it a problem to discuss the book, Miss Peggy?
No.
Is that-
I'm eating.
we
Let
were-
me check.
We were supposed to
We didn't plan this
We're gonna
out.
check the camera.
Hmm.
While you check the camera, maybe you can stop it and I'll get somebody a
Did you see
different
the
beverage.
article though about how their bookstores are coming back? There's been a lot more opening of bookstores.
Fine.
Yeah, we have like 15 minutes.
All right. No, I
Hi,
haven't-
sweetie. All right.
All right.
So
Okay.
tell us about your book.
All right, I'm low. I just got finished reading Instructions for a Heat Wave by Maggie O'Farrell. She has several other books, none of which I've ever read, but I'm going to definitely be reading her other books. This book is a family story. It's about this family, an Irish family that lives in London. One of them lives in New York, the youngest one. And each one of them has something going on in their lives that's disrupting their lives. The book starts out with the mother, whose name is Greta, and the father is Robert. They're much older people. And Robert one morning gets up and says, I'm going to get a newspaper, and never comes back again. So,
That happens, yeah.
yeah. So the rest of the family gathers to support the mother and try to find out what happened to the dad. And they know that he isn't dead because they know that he just left, because they managed to, one of them broke into his desk and saw that he had taken money out of his savings account.
Okay.
So after that happens, they're kind of wondering where he is and asking about and making phone calls, but most of the book takes place in each of the characters' homes, in their lives, describing what's going on in their lives. And it's really about family secrets, which we did a whole podcast on.
Yeah.
And when I read it, I said, oh my God, this is, like familiar to me.
Right.
Having come from a family with family secrets, which probably all of us do. And I can't really say much more without giving things away, but I really, really loved it. The first sitting, I said, I'm just going to pick it up. I'll read, a couple of pages or a chapter or two. And I got up to page 116.
Wow.
And I said, okay, close the book.
That.
So I read it like in 2.5 days.
Now, how old is the book? Because it looks.
Yeah, it looks
This is an old book. This was given to me by a friend of mine. She gave it to me because I was going to be recovering for a little while, and she had it in her house. It's actually paid for in pounds, so she must have bought it in a used bookstore. This book came out in 2013.
Wow.
But she does have a newer book that came out in paperback in 2022, and it's called The Marriage Portrait. And it sounds like a really good story. It's about the D'Amici family, in Italy. D'Amici?
Oh, do you mean that
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
it's good. It takes place like in the 16 or 1700s, and it's about Lucretia. They're all like familiar historical
Yes.
names to me, but
Yeah.
it's based on a historical thing, but it's fiction.
Oh, okay.
And I'm definitely going to be reading that too. After I finish Carol's
Manuscript.
her manuscript, I'm almost finished with it, and she's very displeased with me.
You're not alone.
Oh, Carol, I just started this new book. Did you finish my manuscript yet? I
She
need
started
your
it, yeah.
feedback.
That's right, I'm almost finished. You didn't even start it
I
yet.
printed it up.
Yeah. Oh well. So anyway, this gets 5 Wildflowers. Definitely
Oh,
is a quick read. I would say.
Wildflower, you are a
Read this
wildflower.
one. Yes.
You got us this.
These were made by an artist friend. It's actually my nephew's girlfriend. Her name is Audrey Dunrow,
Okay.
and she is an art teacher. I think in Farmingdale, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Right.
and
When
I
is
think,
this
but
podcast?
in a school. But I'm pretty sure it's Farmingdale, and she also makes beautiful things.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah. So anyway,
Awesome.
she's
Good.
discontinuing this. She says she doesn't even like them anymore. She's sick of making them.
Oh.
So, but
Now she's gonna get a demand for them.
yeah.
Right.
So
Wow.
anyway, okay.
This
So
is- you know, this is
I'm
our.
gonna pour myself another one. of
I'm
these
going
Katy
to get
Perry
a glass of
bottles.
seltzer.
No, we're gonna pause,
take
and
a
then we're gonna have a lot longer time to talk to
Yes,
Heidi,
to Heidi.
because I cannot wait, because this is a subject
Pick up
near and
on
dear
one.
to my heart. So I'll be
Okay.
right back.
I'll have all the.
Turn the screen around so we can see them.
Oh, we're back.
That always moves
Carol's as bossy as ever.
I want to make sure that Peggy is in it. Hi guys, we're
Hi.
here.
Come over here, Peggy, so we can see you.
Now, every time I do that, it looks like the camera's not in the right place. Let's see.
Well, we have the dogs here.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
Nothing better than this.
Are we still on? Are we
Yeah,
still-
we're videoing.
We're good.
Okay, awesome. Well, this is, I didn't say the number of our podcast. It's number 18 for
Oh,
us.
okay.
This
Wow.
is 18
Oh, wow.
that we have done. So, today we are interviewing Heidi Walker from Yorkie 911. And I'm so glad that Heidi decided to come here. She didn't bring any dogs though.
No, but I've got this gorgeous little girl on my lap.
Yes.
So
She's
these,
waving.
these dogs were from Yorkie 911, and I have another one, Lewis, that's on the floor, and he's just so chill. He's the chill dude. He really is. I don't think you know when I first met you. I have a feeling you have no memory of it, and I think this is so funny. I was
You're right.
still married, living in Belmore. So you've been to my house in Belmore.
Yes.
And you were doing the street festival.
Yes.
And my then husband and I were walking by, and we saw all these puppies and stuff, and like, oh my God. And there were some that really needed serious help, these puppies and whatever. And I saw your passion, and I saw people were saying, oh, can I take one now? And
No.
yeah, I liked your reaction. And some people I've seen in the past argue with you because, oh, we want to save them. But that's when I first met you. And then I think it was maybe, well, it was absolutely after I got divorced when then I started, I said, I'm going to foster. So I filled out the application. Somebody came to my house to make sure that the fence was.
It's probably me. No.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. No, I think it was somebody else that came to the house.
You know what? You're right, because you lived in Belmore, so it was somebody from East Meadow who lived closer to you.
Yes. To make sure, which I love the fact that they came to make sure that there was no gaps in the
Right.
fence or anything that the dogs would get out. And that's when I first started fostering. And my very first dog that I fostered,
You failed.
no, not the,
Oh, not the first? That was the second?
yeah, Oliver. That was Oliver. I think his name was Pringle, but it was
Yes,
changed.
it was Pringle.
Yeah, but it was
Wow.
changed, and the young woman that was living with us at the time, because we let her stay with us, because she was homeless too.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes, Jen fell in love with Pringle Oliver, and she ended up adopting him, and he did pass a couple of years ago, and she ended up fostering. Well, she's in Seattle, Washington now, so she ended up fostering there, and because she loved the experience.
That whole
So that
continues
is.
on.
Wow.
So, but I want to know from you, Heidi, how did you get started? Like when, why, how?
You know, I was just like everybody else. I had no clue that dogs needed rescue.
Right.
Absolutely none. And, you know, I got my first dog from this woman in Huntington, and, you know, I thought she was a breeder because she had all these playpens set up in her home.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I got my first Yorkie from her, and, you know, I was learning, and it
Right.
was my first dog. And a year later, I got a second dog, and this woman I met said to me, don't you know that, you know, these dogs are in shelters and foster homes? And I'm like, I said, what are you talking about? You spend so much money on these dogs.
Yeah.
Who's
yeah.
gonna give it up?
Right.
Oh yeah.
And it turns out a lot of people, even if they pay $3,000 for a Yorkie,
Yeah.
they don't know what they're getting themselves into.
Mhm.
And so I went with her to a shelter upstate, and it was the most horrifying experience of my life.
Really.
I had never been in a shelter like this before. It was the middle of winter. It was freezing. It was snowing
It was
out.
a shelter or puppy mill?
No, this was a shelter. We went to
Okay.
pick up a dog that we were pulling out of a shelter, and we had to drive home all the way in a snowstorm with the windows open because this thing that was sitting on my lap smelled so bad.
Oh.
I didn't even know what kind of dog it was. It took about 3 baths and shaving this thing down. It turned out it was a little Yorkie poo.
Oh.
The sweetest, cutest thing I ever saw. And I was like, how could somebody just throw this dog away? Like,
Yeah.
they dumped her at a shelter and
Yeah.
didn't want her anymore.
Well, that's a good point because there are a lot of purebreds in shelters
Yes.
today.
Yep.
You know, my very first dog was a Schnauzer, got at a shelter,
Mm-hmm.
2 years old. My brother got a purebred Australian Shepherd
Yeah.
at a shelter.
Right.
People, after the puppy stage is over,
Mm-hmm.
you can find a lot of purebreds in the
Yeah.
shelter.
You can. You can find great
Yeah.
dogs in the shelters, and now
Yeah.
there are rescues for just about every breed of dog.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can always reach out to a specific breed, which is what we started as.
Right. Right.
But we ended up taking in all small breed dogs
Right.
after about a month being,
Right,
starting.
and the name Yorkie 911 is, like I always tell people on your behalf, that it's 15 pounds or under, is
Right.
it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Right, 'cause
And it's
he's
all
not a
dogs.
Yorkie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, we're
Yeah.
more like Chihuahua 911. If you
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at our
yeah,
website,
lots
a lot of
Yeah.
Chihuahuas.
Do you want to put her down? Or
She's getting a little
Yeah, she's
wiggly. You want to hold her?
Hello,
So after that experience, I actually found a rescue in Pennsylvania called Save a Yorkie Rescue that I volunteered with for many, many years. And because of them, it led me to opening Yorkie 911 here in New York.
And
Because
about, when was that?
2010.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, July 2010 is when we incorporated and we officially put in our paperwork for a 501c3 and became a legal charity.
Right, right. And you were saying about being educated, because like I too, I bought, well, first of all, my very, very first dog when I was married was from Bite-A-Wee. So, and I picked the one that was the most scared, that was in the corner, that's the one I wanted. And
wanna put her
yeah,
down?
yeah, do you wanna grab it from, thank you. So,
Yeah,
and then, you know, you always want to, always, with everybody, but in your head, you're like, oh, people have, you know, purebreds, and that's the, you know, the one that's the, you know, point that you want to get that. And so, I think we got from Puppies R Us or someplace, we got, Scout and Shiloh, which was a beagle and a Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
They had to have been from Puppy Mills.
Of course.
Which I didn't know.
Not right, exactly. That's the whole thing. None of us back then knew.
No.
We didn't
And
know
I
that
felt
that's
guilty,
what they had.
you know, but you're right. It's like, yeah, and we spent a tiny fortune.
Oh,
We
yeah.
would have come home with 3 dogs that day because Natasha wanted a pug. They didn't have a pug because we would have gotten a pug too.
Yeah.
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 I mean, yeah, we were insane. I'm still insane. But anyway,
And it's heartbreaking because the dogs, they're not bad. These are good dogs.
course,
But it's the circumstance on which they were created.
Yeah.
Somewhere there is a dog in a cage, just being bred constantly, you know, being, you know,
Yeah.
forced
Over and
to
over.
breed,
Yeah.
give birth,
Mhm.
breed again, you know, constantly until
Yeah.
they have no use. And then
And
that's
then they
where
contact
you come
us.
in.
Right.
Because she
Yeah.
can't produce anymore.
Right.
Here, take
And
them.
it's those puppy mills that, you know, bring those dogs to a shelter, or they contact us directly through different organizations, or they just put them down. So,
God.
Well,
thankfully
there
we're able to
weren't
sell.
always rescue groups for dogs either. I know when I was growing up, our first dog that we got was a stray dog. Like I lived in Brooklyn and people used to just, I don't want you anymore,
Yep.
Right.
and let their dog out. And this dog followed my brother home. And my mother never wanted a dog. My mother, there were 10 of us. She had 10
Oh
children.
my God.
And she didn't
I
want a
wonder why
dog.
she didn't want a dog.
Yeah.
She wanted another child.
My brother Kevin and I are very close in age, and I was sitting in the living room, and he came in the front door, and he's going, shh, and he has something under his jacket, and I see this tail wagging. So he's going like this, pointing to the basement, and I went downstairs, and he said, oh my God. She was so cute. She was, you know, she was a mixed breed, the black and white kind. They look like maybe there's some terrier in them, and, you know, there were a million dogs that looked like her. And so what we did was, we said, oh my God, we gotta get Mom to let us keep this dog. So we gave her a bath down in the basement.
mom?
No.
This sounds like a Brady Bunch episode.
It does, doesn't it?
We cleaned her up, and then we got the other siblings down there, and then we brought her up to my mom, and she said, oh no,
Yeah.
we're not getting a dog. I'm gonna have to take care of the dog, blah, 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 blah. And then we all begged her, and she was the sweetest dog. You know, she lived to be 17 years old, that dog.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and she said she's on trial. And 17 years later,
Yeah.
you know, my mom used to, when she got sick, she had something wrong with her stomach or something, my mom used to fry up liver for her every night.
So it's always
And,
the ones who don't want a dog
yeah,
that
yeah.
become
well,
the
you know,
dog
because
lover.
they probably know they're just gonna. You
Yeah.
know, that's.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was a very good dog, and her name was Nobody. She was named Nobody because she was a stray, so we named her Nobody.
Oh, that's so.
She was
cute.
a very good dog.
Yeah.
It's just sad though, you know, with all these stray dogs, and they get picked up by animal control, or they get picked up by a good Samaritan,
Yeah.
who then takes it to a vet, sees
Yeah.
if there's a chip in it, and then they put posters up and they're trying to find
Yeah.
the owners. But a lot of times these are dogs that are just let go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Logan, you remember Logan?
yes, I do.
And
Yeah.
after Logan was very, very sick. We all know what I went through with Logan. But about 2 weeks after I had him, he had to be put down. somebody came to my door. It was a Sunday night. It was like 9:00, and it was my neighbor, and she's holding a Yorkie, and she said, "This dog was up on the highway up there." She goes, "Do you know who?"
You were going like this, right?
Oh, sorry about it. We have to sit close to each other. So, and it was like so surreal because we're just like, this is like, and had a big bunch on his butt, and he had issues. So we brought him to the emergency. They found that he was
Chipped.
Thank you. I can't ever talk. So yeah, and it turned out that the people were miles away, and they dropped him off.
Well,
They dumped him.
They dumped him.
That's
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
different people. The people came here investigating it, and they said, "Oh yeah, no, they're not gonna ever have another dog again."
Well, that's probably, is that another way you get dogs? It's not just from breeders, right? Do you how else do you get
Well,
the dogs in your care?
We get a lot of owner surrenders.
Okay.
At least
Wow.
people are now educated enough to contact us
Yeah.
instead of just letting them out.
Right.
So like even today, this week I had 3 owner surrenders, and I have a pair coming in tomorrow. A lot of the reasons they're surrendering the dogs, it's sad, but it's living arrangements. They lose their home, or they're moving from an apartment, and especially here on Long Island, finding
Yeah.
pet-friendly apartments is very difficult.
That is true.
Unless you're going into a complex, and then it's very expensive.
Yes.
So financial reasons, some it's a death in the family, and then you know now the family has the dog, and they thought they could take care of it, but they have their dogs, and the dogs don't get along, and
Yeah.
so there's always a lot of
reasons.
stories for the owner surrenders. We also work with several shelters, some here in New York, and then also we work with the shelters in Baltimore.
Right. Which is where Lewis
Yeah.
was.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, he
Baltimore
was a
has
hot
a very
mess.
big,
Yeah.
very bad dog fighting
Yeah.
Oh.
In Baltimore,
in
yeah.
Baltimore
Yeah.
area. So when these little dogs come into
Oh,
the shelters, they contact us immediately, which is great. So we have 2 shelters
Because
that
they
we work
probably
with
be
there.
used as bait dogs.
Yes.
Because the little
Yeah.
ones.
So there's 2 shelters there, plus the Humane Society, a couple other people, and then we've been working with another group called Proud Rescues of Puerto Rico for about 4 years
that's
now,
There's a big
and we
story
help
about-
bring the dogs over from Puerto Rico. So
Right.
they come from so many different areas. It's
And do you work with other rescues? Because I know you only do a certain weight. Like if you had someone that came with an a bigger dog.
Yes.
Yeah, you have contacts.
I think it's very important for rescues to work together.
Absolutely.
For many, many years, it was all this competition, and I don't like that. I've been working with several rescues here. I have a woman she's more of a sanctuary, and it's great because when I have a 15-year-old dog that's old and blind and deaf and not adoptable, I don't have them at my house taking up the space that I can have other adoptable
Right,
dogs coming
right.
in and out.
Right.
They go to a sanctuary. And she's in Glen Head, so that's she's awesome. It's Bessie Gatto, and I just recently met her, and she's been wonderful. And then there's Anarchy Animal Rescue, who I've been working with for many years as well. And if I have a dog or they have a dog they can't place, or we'll work together. And this way, every dog gets adopted. And if it can't be through me, as long as it's through somebody else, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
have a lot in your home. I said, but one thing I know, because I know, I have animals, I've got dogs, cats, chickens, I said, and we've all been in this situation, but I work with another rescue, as well, that, it's called Peace Love Rescue New York, but the biggest problem, I think, besides money's always an issue, I'm sure, is finding foster homes.
Yes.
Right? Good
Impossible.
quality, so what do you,
I
how
beg.
do you do? Yeah.
I beg, and then my fosters fail,
Yes.
which is the best thing to fail. If you're going to fail something, fail at fostering
Well, I
101.
remember
Well, she had help with this.
Yeah.
well, when I went to Westbury and I was holding him, I
Yes.
heard you say, "Oh boy."
But as soon as I said I might have somebody interested, she was like, "What? No, no,
No, if you remember, I started growling.
Yes, you did. Yes. You didn't like those people.
Get away from him. I don't know why, but and that's one thing, I can't help but think that he had to have been in a loving home.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
He
Yeah.
is this, He's
is how
so
he
not
came.
afraid
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
anybody.
No, right.
And he walked in here, started sniffing around, went and drank water out of the bowl. Like, okay, I'm home.
And again, not every dog is with us because of a behavioral
Yeah,
issue. It's
right.
it could be a financial issue. It could
Right.
just be
Yeah.
they just don't have the time anymore,
Yeah.
or they're traveling. You know, their job changes. They're traveling all the time.
Yeah.
You know, with the pandemic, everybody was home, so
Yeah.
now people are back to work, and the poor dogs are home, and they have anxiety, and you know,
Yeah.
we try to work with them and explain things that they can do, but there are some that just have to be in a different home.
Right.
Otherwise, they're not
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because, you know, you try things and when I give them their TREAT.
Yeah.
And I said,
Oh, she
sit.
came running over.
Oh,
But she knows how to
She
spell
learned
now.
how to spell.
And I said to sit. No, these two don't sit. I tried. My son made fun of me. He goes, why don't you teach them? I said, I tried. But him, I said, sit, and he sat. And I'm like,
Yeah, he knew.
he
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he knew. But so Heidi, you have a day job, don't you?
Yeah, two jobs actually.
2 jobs.
Yeah.
So how do you do everything with every?
Oh.
Yeah, like, exactly. And the fact that you fit us into your schedule, I'm appreciative.
I am blessed. I have amazing volunteers. It couldn't be done without them. Before we moved to Smithtown and we were living in Deer Park, and it was really just me, and I had some foster homes. It was difficult. I had to be limited on what I could do.
Yeah.
Now, the volunteers come and go. They clean up. They take care of the dogs. They walk around the yard and do poop patrol. I mean, and they give them love. They socialize them, and it's generally every 2 to 3 hours somebody else is
Wow.
at the house. They have their own entrance, their code. They know what to do. We have a volunteer coordinator, Arlene, who, when somebody new comes, she runs them through the ropes. She explains what they do. They come 2 or 3 times with somebody else before they come alone, and it's an amazing group of people.
Oh,
that
that's
sounds
awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
I
machine.
can't say how blessed I am because of them.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have them.
And that's important, the socialization too, is that because
Yeah.
anytime you bring a new animal home, I always say it takes like 2 weeks to get a dog decompressed.
Mm-hmm.
Right, a lot of people want to get a dog from a shelter or a rescue and expect them to
Yeah.
be a Sherlock just coming
Right,
in.
yeah,
And, that
yeah.
doesn't happen
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of times. It takes a good, I'd say, 2 weeks to
Yeah.
get used
Yeah.
to.
There's actually something called the 3 3s.
Oh, tell me
3
about it.
days, 3 weeks, 3 months. It takes 3 days for a dog to decompress in a new environment.
Okay.
That means the first 3 days they may hide, they may not eat,
Yeah.
they may have accidents. By the 3rd day, they're starting to come around. It takes them 3 weeks to learn routine. So your routine might be different from what we have at the foster home. So they're on a certain routine that they've learned. Now they have to learn something new.
Right,
By the 3rd week, they've got
they
it.
should be good.
It takes 3 months before they're totally settled in.
Yeah.
And they feel
Yeah.
like safe and this is their home.
Took
Yeah.
him 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always the exception.
Yeah, it's
Not even. I think it took him 3 minutes. He was in the car and he was, okay, I'm yours.
The night, like I had the doggy bed on the floor and he curled up in it and I'm like, well, he's gonna wander around in the night and get confused. Slept through the night.
Wow.
I was the one that kept checking on him, like, you know.
Are you
freaking
breathing?
out.
Are you there?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I keep asking, but do you want to keep?
No,
All right.
no, this.
How do you deal with when you're talking with somebody, whether it be like in your family, friends, close circle, who then go, I'm gonna go buy a dog,
Oh,
or worse yet,
good
I'm
question.
gonna breed, because I have that in my life, and it's just like. After, in a way, I can't help but take it personally sometimes when you're
Yeah.
like, after seeing, I'm very vocal with rescue, to be like, now you're gonna go what? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
how do you deal with that?
Yeah, Heidi. How do
Very
you-
politically correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not easy. In fact, something similar happened, a few years back, and my nephew, who I love to death, bought a dog. He said he got it through a broker, and I'm like, oh, he didn't. But again, not knowing.
Right.
And I tried to educate, and and I understand. Listen, people want puppies. I don't have an issue.
Yeah.
If you want to get a puppy from a breeder and you do your research and you find a reputable, responsible breeder that does the genetic testing, that is not inbreeding their dogs, there's nothing wrong with that. That keeps that breed alive. We
Right.
don't want
Right.
to stop that.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good
There
thing.
are puppies at the shelter too.
Yes, there are. There are puppies at the
You
shelter.
can put your name on a list, and they'll call you when you
Right.
when they get puppies in.
So the other part though that goes with it is that, because we deal a lot with hypoallergenic dogs.
Right.
And everybody in the beginning, most of the people who were coming to us specifically did because we did Yorkies, Maltese, Shih Tzus, which are the more hypoallergenic breeds. So but again, if they have to do that, if they have to have that puppy and they have to have that breed, just do your research. I mean, there are very few that I recommend, but I do recommend a couple. But of course, I'd rather they get a dog from me or from the shelter.
Yeah.
But not everybody's going to.
Yeah.
And it's hard when it's family and it hurts me. It's like, do you not know what I do for
Right.
Yeah.
my life? It's
Yeah.
not, I'm not doing this for a living. This is my passion.
I always just kind of feel like if money is factoring into the reason why you're going to breed too, like as a breed as well, then no matter how well things are, well intentioned perhaps,
Right.
then maybe, it's.
You mean
It
people
shouldn't
not
be-
fixing their dogs
No,
so
they
that they
shouldn't
can
be
breed
doing
the
that.
dog?
Right.
No.
Yeah, like you don't know what you're doing.
No.
Right.
That's
Right.
ridiculous.
So
I
we-
can see going to a reputable breeder.
Right, but doing
Yeah,
it
so-
yourself, you don't know the history of your dog.
Yeah.
You might say it's got papers. Papers mean nothing
Yeah.
when it's a puppy mill mom,
Right.
that you
Yeah.
got.
Right.
We actually just had a dog that came to us pregnant.
Oh, wow.
So she had 6 puppies.
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
The mom is a Chihuahua. She could have had 2 or 3 different dads in that
Yeah.
litter. So we don't
Yeah.
know what they are.
Right.
It's very rare we have puppies that come to us because we don't usually get pregnant dogs, and we don't
Right.
usually,
Wow.
we just don't usually even have puppies. It's
Yeah.
rare for
Yeah.
us to have
Yeah.
puppies.
Yeah.
And right now, so we have those 6 that they're not ready yet. They're only about 4 weeks old right now. But we just had puppies that we took from a hoarding kind of situation.
Oh, God.
And so we had taken 6 dogs previously, and then there were 2 nursing mothers that we couldn't take the puppies from yet because they were only 2 weeks old. And they're mixes. They have Shih Tzu, they have Jack Russell in them, they have,
Was that the one with
Wyatt?
Oh,
Yes.
he was adorable.
yes.
Very
Cute as can be, but
Yeah.
they're much. And actually, they'll probably be healthier dogs
Healthier.
because of that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They do
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have less genetic
Yes.
problems.
Right.
And, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of laugh when you hear these new breeds, these cockapoos. I'm like,
It's a
it's
mutt.
just a new way of saying a mutt.
It's a mutt.
Like, I'm like,
They're
is
expensive
it that a mutt?
It's a designer dog.
It's a
designer-
A designer. It's a mutt.
I have a
Yeah.
mastiff pit bull,
Yeah.
so do I have a mast bull? I mean, it's like, okay. A pit
A
okay.
Yeah. Or you
Yeah.
want like the Paris Hilton little.
The little tiny
Yeah.
chihuahuas,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
2-pound dogs
Yeah.
that have all the medical issues.
Right. Yeah.
It's scary because
Yeah.
you don't know what you're going to end up with.
No. Well, and that's the thing. Like people. Well, some people say, Lacey, don't hit the.
Oh, she wants my attention. Come here, girl.
People say, well, I bought the dog. I rescued it because
Oh, yeah.
they'll say that, and
I
I'm
rescued it from the pet store because it was 6 months old.
like, yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you're feeding the beast.
Mhm.
I said, that's what you're doing. You're feeding the beast. I said, and it's just going to be a cycle,
Right.
and it makes me crazy.
Well, how did you then feel about New York passing the law against?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
No, so this is a big step.
Absolutely.
It's a big step. I just
Lacey.
I'm cautiously what's the word I'm looking for?
Optimistic.
Optimistic, yes. Because, people will find loopholes and ways around things. The thing is, with this new
Lacey,
law,
no.
they're not
Send that
allowed
dog back.
to sell
Put her
dogs.
They're not allowed to
They
sell
won't be
pets.
allowed to sell dogs in a pet store. They can have adoptable dogs through
Right.
rescue.
And it's any animal too, so no,
right.
no
It's rabbits, cats,
Yeah,
dogs.
dog.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a very good step.
It
But
is.
You're right.
It's a big
something
step.
to see how it will be implemented.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how it will be, regulated, and make sure that everything, there are people. They have to have people actually going around. And I know these pet store owners were saying that they're going to lose their business. Yeah, because they paid $50 for that dog from the puppy mill that they're selling for $3,000.
$3,000.
So
Yeah.
you are going to lose a big chunk of your
Lacey,
business.
no.
Maybe
No.
she has to
So,
go out.
but
Should I let her
honestly,
You could try, but she
knowing
doesn't
where those
usually
people
let me know.
dogs live,
Do you want to go out?
I have no sympathy for
No,
them.
I don't,
No.
because it's very cruel the way you see them,
Mhm.
the way they're
Yeah.
kept. A lot of them haven't even ever stepped outside of a cage. You
No.
know, it's
That's the
just,
thing.
No?
Well,
When they-
that's how Lacey, when I first got her, she still goes in circles. Like
Yes.
she goes in
Yeah, 'cause
circles.
she was in a cradle her life.
And that's what I said to the vet, and they said they thought it was an ear issue, but it's she that, and that's all she does. She won't let me know if she has to go to the bathroom, but when she's running around the kitchen table, I know she has to go out. That's her way of letting me know. I'm a little slow, but I catch on eventually. It's like, oh, she wants
after
to go.
she chases her around.
Yeah. Oh, we're flying. No, so I have a question. Okay, we have 4 minutes left. I have one more question. So how many dogs do you have presently in your home that you own, if you want to share that? And then how many that you are having in your home that you are taking?
Fostering.
Yeah,
Okay. So we have 10 of our own.
I knew
10,
that.
10 little ones. They're little. It's like,
They're
yeah, they're like
little.
potato chips. How can you have just one?
No.
So we have 10 of our
That's
own.
who you want.
And then we have, right now, as of today, I have 15 fosters in my house.
Wow. Wow.
Even with the adoptions we had today, we have 15, plus I have 2 coming tomorrow. And I have dogs in foster homes as well. So
Right,
there are a
right.
few that are in foster homes right now.
One of the things I love about a rescue, now at least my rescues, and I think, you know, probably it's standard or whatever, but if they put in the contract, you know, if you had to give the dog up, you know, whatever, something happened, wouldn't you be able to contact the rescue for
Yeah, it
help?
has to come back to us.
Has to come back. You
Yeah.
know, it's not unlike a pet store is not going to do
No.
that.
No.
You know, and it's
No.
I just love that it's responsible. You know,
Yeah.
you're investigating the home, you're
Mhm.
investigating the person, references, and
Mhm.
all of that, and
Vet check,
you
references,
stand by
home
your
visit.
dog.
Mhm.
You know, and I,
Yes.
there's
And
a lot
some
of
people
security
get
you get with a
affronted by
rescue.
that. They're like, I'm saving the dog. Why do I have to go through? I'm speaking for
Yeah,
you.
no, it's true.
And
I'm
so-
a good home. Why don't you give me the dog? Well, I have 12 applications for the same dog.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give the dog to what I feel is the best home
Right.
for that dog.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Not saying that you're not a good home.
right.
It's just for this particular dog, this is
Yeah.
what this dog needs, and it's not what you
Exactly.
can provide.
Absolutely.
So-
My daughter does. She like arranges adoptions from a pound in a shelter in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Because South Carolina, evidently, that's like Baltimore, I
Yeah.
guess. There's,
Yeah.
you know, dogs
And
being.
Georgia, a lot of
Yeah,
times, too,
and
yeah.
she has to interview people at length. I mean, she's been at my house visiting on the phone for an hour and a half, 2 hours talking to one person.
Wow.
You know, they really clear them. He's such a good dog too. One of her dogs. It's called Mama's Place or Mama's something.
Okay.
But you know, it's
Yeah.
nice that people do that, and they have like a caravan almost of people
Yes.
to deliver the dogs. Like I'll drive to,
Mhm.
you know, Virginia, and then
Right.
I'll
You
meet
do
you
that,
at
you
this
have that.
service
Yeah.
area, and then they go to Maryland,
Yeah.
and
Well, I have a very good friend in Conway, South Carolina, which is
Yeah.
just outside of Myrtle Beach, and she is on the board of one of these shelters down
Mhm.
there, and she contacts me also on a regular basis. We just took 6 dogs from her,
wow,
and again
yeah,
we had to do the transport, the
Yeah.
Right,
railroad
mhm.
up to here.
I know.
Well, Peggy keeps
I have
checking
to check the time
So-
because we have 1 minute.
Okay, well, Heidi, thank you so much. So it's Yorkie 911,
Absolutely.
and
Is there an email or something, or?
It's Yorkie911rescue@gmail.com, and our website is www.yorkie911rescue.com.
and if you can't
thanks for
adopt,
coming.
consider donating because they always
Absolutely.
need
Every
money.
little
Or
bit helps.
fostering,
Foster,
fostering.
Yes.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
Lacey is one of them, and she's been just she's just been so good during this whole conversation. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.